Hello friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks workshop, and today I'm going to put together a bunch of snippets of several different repair and setup projects, and we'll put that all together. Got a couple of them that I think you'll find interesting. I've done some of these before, so I didn't want to film the whole thing, but I filmed snippets of several different projects that I thought were the interesting parts of the projects that might be just a little different than what you'd seen in the past, or maybe I used some other technique or something. Also, just got this in this morning. I thought I'd take a look at it. This box here came from Alpha. I can't pronounce this. Alpharetta, Georgia, I guess. I guess that's how you say it. I apologize if I butchered the name of the town there. But this is, I believe it's a mandolin. Well, I know it's a mandolin according to the customer that shipped it to me. And I believe it's in just for a setup. He kind of wants the full meal deal set up. Pretty much everything that needs to be done to it, he wants done. And so that's what we'll do. I'm just going to open up the box here and see what we've got. Alright, came obviously the case and the box, everything looks like it's in good shape, so I don't see any problems here. Let's turn it down so you can see what we've got. It is a Kentucky KM 700 is what it says. Looks like a pretty nice instrument. I don't see anything that just jumps out at me at the moment of anything that I feel like it just absolutely has to have right off. But it needs obviously he wants a complete setup. I like the frets, the small frets. It's got a nice looking bridge on it. I don't think we need to change the bridge, maybe just adjust it. The action looks crazy high to me. He wants this tang scalloped out here, so we'll remove the frets and scallop this back. And as far as I know, that's about it. We'll just level the frets, do a complete setup on it. We'll make this, if we do video this, we'll put it in a separate video. Here's a really nice Guild guitar in pristine shape. I don't believe there's a scratch on it. It's hardly even a scratch on the pick guard. It's very beautiful, but look at there. It goes all the way under there. You can, I can actually touch the bridge pins, no problem at all, with just a piece of paper. I'm not sure what's holding it on there. Fortunately, the strings are really loose right now, but we're going to take this apart and see what we can do with this. Well, the bridge came off in one piece, very clean. Probably the cleanest, easiest bridge I ever took off. It's just amazing how easy that one was to get off. This bridge seems to be a composite wood instead of just a solid piece of wood. Well, maybe not. It may be real solid wood, but just looking at it right now, it just looks odd. It just doesn't look like a normal piece of wood. But anyway, I'll clean it up, get all the glue off of it, get all the glue off of this area. We'll trace around it, make sure that we're exactly perfect with the finish and everything, and then we'll glue it back in place. Ordinarily, I don't really find it necessary to rough up the back of a bridge after I've cleaned all the glue off of it. However, I'm going to make a big exception with this one. This is absolutely, whatever this wood is, I've never seen anything quite like it. It almost looks like it's a composite of some sort. I really don't know what it is, but it is as slick as glass. I mean, it literally is slick as glass. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm going to take some really, really rough, like 60 grit sandpaper or something like that, and scratch the back here and just see what it does. I've really taken my time with an X-Acto knife and going around and scraped every bit of the finish off of this. There was like a 1/16 of an inch or so finish under the bridge. And of course I took a very sharp X-Acto knife and traced the outline first and scored it, and then I cracked all that finish off to the exact outline of the bridge. And I'm going to go ahead and make some little tiny micro grooves in this bridge yet, because like I said, it is so slick, it's like glass. I'm afraid that once I glue it on there, it might not want to stick again. I believe it's wood, but I believe it's a wood composite. I think it's like wood and some other material, wood and glue or something. Can't get much of a clue by smelling it. It doesn't seem to have much smell, but there's something going on this that's not just standard wood, I can tell you that for sure. Taking this tool, and I literally just scratched with the very sharp point of this and just made little scratches all down through here. Lots and lots of them. Just little tiny scratches. They're not very big. You can't even really hardly feel them, but they're just big enough that the glue will help bind in those little scratches. Just like that. That's all I'm doing. And I think that'll help it. It feels slick still, but it's not like quite the same feel. It really felt just like glass before. Now it feels like a little bit more like regular wood, actually. So anyway, I don't think that's going to hurt anything. I think that's a good insurance policy for making it hold. It fits really good. You can't see any space around where I've scratched off. It looks like it was made that way now, so we can glue this on here and have some pretty good confidence that it's going to hold this time. Got her all glued up and clamped up and cleaned all the glue off of it. I don't think that anyone will be able to tell that this bridge was ever off of there. It doesn't look like there's any scarring around there or nothing at all, so it looks really good. I don't think there'll be any question about it. It looks like it's original to me, and yet I know it's a lot better than it was originally, because now it's glued perfectly to the surface and with some good glue that should not turn that thing loose. I also knocked off the edges of all the frets. That was the other complaint about the guitar. All the frets along here were sticking out just a little bit. They weren't real bad. I'll just show you. I just took my little tool and I just lightly, just very carefully, went like that, and just got the ends of the frets rounded off to where you don't hardly feel them at all now. Another service that I do here at Rosa String Works is I make CDs for people, and this was a CD that was recorded in my shop. I have I don't print this anymore. I have it printed, but I do cut them out here and put them together in the shop. The printing just got to be crazy with the cost of ink and everything, and keep maintaining a printer, so I just have it printed now. I do the designs on my computer and take them to the print shop. And this little light tray here, you can see when I turn it on, turn it off, that lets me see through what I'm cutting so I can line up the edges much better. I know exactly what I'm cutting that way. This light panel came out of an old doctor's office at where I used to work years ago. They closed the doctor's office down, and I was in charge of cleaning up the mess, and these panels were going to be thrown away, and I said, well, listen, I can use those. So I took them, and this is what I use it for. I just put the paper cutter on top of it. You can see right through it. It really makes the cutting much better. That would be the back tray card in the back of the CD. I'll show you how that goes together later. Then I do the same with the with the top. I have to cut out the cover also, and the cover looks like this on this particular one. Then I save these large pieces and cut them in half for note paper on my desk. This gets folded. It's a two-sided CD, and so this gets folded as a booklet and goes in the front cover of the CD. And this is what I end up with when I get done cutting them out. I got the covers here and the tray cards there, and now I'll show you the assembly process. Once I'm ready for assembly, it's all elbow grease. No little pixies come in and do it for me. I have my own little method of bending these right on that edge there. I just gotten used to doing it. I can do it faster between my fingers and more accurately than I can laying it down on the table. And slide in the tray, slide in the CD, slide in the cover, and there we have one nice complete unit. Looks real nice, and what I'll do then after I'm done is we'll shrink wrap them, and I'll show you that process too. I also make CDs in a quantity of, the lowest quantity is 10, which you can't really get that hardly anywhere, and you'd be surprised how many customers only want 10 at a time. So that seems to be a real niche that I have going on. If you're interested in having CD duplication in quantities of 10 or more, just contact me. My email's at the end of this video. Now that we have all the CDs made up, we will be shrink wrapping them. And I have a little hand processed shrink wrapper. What I do is I just lay the CD right there, and this paper is, or this shrink wrap material is kind of like an envelope already. It's folded in half is all, and then this here has already been shrunk here and heated. You'll see how it goes. But anyway, I pull it out to the length of the CD, chop it off with the heat deal here, and I usually have to do it twice on the first one. And there it goes now, and I just make a bunch of bags. So I need to make 10 bags. That was 1, 2, okay, now that we've got 10 of them made up, I just use the same, I do the same process every time. I face up, I insert them into the bag, slide it all the way to the bottom of the bag, and then pull it up tight to the lip there, cut off. Now it's a sealed bag. It's not shrunk yet. I throw the extra on the floor because it has so much static in it, you can't throw it in a trash can. It will just jump out of the plastic trash can. Before I get the last ones done, I'll just show you that the CD itself was printed here in my shop. It has a very faint outline of like an angel flying or something like that, and it's light blue. Has the title and the artist's name on there. And anyway, I print those on my own CD printer here. I mentioned I take the paper artwork and have it printed, the paper printing. And then we just put them together like this. Okay, there's 10 of them. Now what I do is I take all 10 of them and just set them square like that on the table. Then I take the heat gun and I first just heat the edges because that'll shrink shrink wrap around the edges first. Then I take and heat shrink each one. I start on the back. That makes the front much smoother. And some customers complain whenever there's a little tiny tear in the shrink wrap, so I just go ahead and throw those away and do it again. I'll open this shrink wrap up and put a new one on. Here's a Michael Kelley Mandolin. You can see the headstock there. And the customer, to be perfectly honest, the customer is very hard of hearing, and he knew there was some kind of a problem with the mandolin, but he couldn't quite figure it out. Well, basically the action was so low that it was just buzzing everywhere. That's really what the problem was. He could tell it on one string only, but it really was buzzing on every string. And the intonation was off. You can see this little piece of blue tape where he had the bridge, and I've moved it back just on the G side there that much, and it's still a hair sharp, so I'll have to probably move it back a little bit more yet, and I haven't even started adjusting the E side yet. So anyway, I'm going to get the bridge in the right place first and then start adjusting the bridge height for a little bit better action. I might have to level the frets. I notice there's a really big hump in this area here where it attaches to the body, which is not uncommon, but this one's pretty excessive. So anyway, we'll look at all that after we get the bridge in the right place and see how it will play and decide whether or not we need to go any further. I can also feel the fret ends really a whole lot on this one, so I'll probably, he didn't say anything about that, but I'll probably just dress the ends of those up just to get where they're not so sharp, just to help the fella out. But here we go. Let's see. I think what I'll do is just double check the intonation here, and you can hear it buzzing already, actually. Okay, there's a G. Well, it's funny because yesterday it showed sharp, now it's showing flat. And it's right on the money. Pretty close. I think I've got it in a pretty good spot there. I'm going to try to get his little piece of tape up without scratching his mandolin here. There it goes. That's pretty good. The action's pretty darn low. I can't even really get my pick under there at the 7th fret. That's kind of my gauge. I just use this 1.12 millimeter pick and try to push it and just barely have it where it just clears at the 7th fret, where it just holds it. This is lifting up the strings by quite a bit, actually, so it's just too low in my opinion. I mean, that's just my rule of thumb gauge that I use. Everybody, you know, you can measure it and get down and get real detailed, but to me that works pretty good, and if it works, why mess with it? Okay. It doesn't sound very good. It's still really buzzing bad. I think it's buzzing right on the 1st fret even. Yeah, it is. So I may have to do some work on the nut. I think just to, now that I know about where the bridge goes here and I can tell, and he wants a very low action. So I think the only way to achieve that is to level those frets a little bit, and I think I'm just going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to take the my fret file here, and boy, it's really a big hump. Look at this. It's rocking. You can see how much it's rocking. It's really got a huge hump in it. So when it's got a hump that big, you just really need to take that out. Otherwise, you can't really get the action very good. And fortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, I'm not a fan of these big frets, but fortunately it has big frets in it, so I can get most of that hump out by just filing the frets down. And we'll recrown them and make them work. Better. It still just doesn't excite me. It's just the way it's made. I always make mine where the frets are inside of the binding. These frets are extending out over the binding, and that's the reason that you can feel them. So anyway, it's better though. Now that we've got it good and level, and the fretboard's got lots of cracks down the fretboard, so I'm going to oil this up too. It looks like it could definitely use some oil. I'm also a fan of linseed oil. I have seen lots of other products and have tried a few other products, but I really just like linseed oil. If you do it correctly, it works great. Now you can't leave it globbed on there. That's a problem if you do that. If you put it on, let it set a few minutes and let it soak in, and then wipe it all off, and then come back a few minutes later and wipe it off again, then you're good. I'll let that set for just a couple of minutes, and then I'll wipe it off again. Okay, I've wiped off the linseed oil again, and it's my experience that after about 3 or 4 minutes it kind of percolates back up just a little bit, and that's why you need to wipe it off that extra time. I'm looking at the top of this mandolin and I'm seeing something that's bothering me a little bit. I don't know if it'll show up in the camera, if I can get the right glare going there. You can see right in this area there's kind of a dent, and that's at the this part of the bridge. My guess is that this part is sitting harder than the rest of it, so I'm going to really look at that very carefully when I put this back on and see if it needs to be adjusted. On this one spot where it's made a dent, it appears to be sitting fairly flat now, but I think that's because it's dented the top in. This foot here is off the ground quite a bit, and this one's on it, so I think I'm just going to take it out of there and take a flat edge razor blade here and literally just shave some of that area off and flatten it out. Okay. See what that looks like now. Okay, I don't feel the wobble in it anymore, though I think it's still riding a little heavier on that one side. It's looking a little better. Okay, I think it's close enough now that I'm going to take a little more tension off and put some sandpaper under the bridge and wiggle the bridge around on the sandpaper. And that ought to seat it down pretty good. I like to do this with the strings on it because that gives that extra push down, and it makes the bridge sit the way it's going to be sitting on the mandolin, and it really does a good job that way of removing the wood where it needs to be removed. Now we will attempt to string her up. So we're going to have to make a new nut for it. It's got a plastic nut. I'm not gonna do the super glue and fill trick. That's just not the way I roll. So I'm gonna make a new nut, and it'll just make it a lot better. I have the nut cut to the exact size that it needs to be, and I've cleaned out the slot here, got rid of the old glue and the clumps of junk that were in there. And it fits in there nice and snug and doesn't move at all. And so I'm basically ready to put a drop of, just going to use a little drop of super glue on both corners right here, just a drop. Doesn't take very much. And put this in there and get it exactly smooth with the sides there, so that you can't really feel it. And then I usually just spritz the thing with that. It penetrates in there and usually makes it set up really fast. And it seems like it's done the trick. Now I'll use my real high-tech marking gauge here and center it by eye and mark where the strings go. As I said in another video, I've been using this same gauge for years. I don't know how many years, probably more than 20, I would think. Seems to work for me. If it ain't broke, as they say, don't fix it. Looks pretty good. You know, this is what I use for a fret file. Well, it's right on the edge of wanting to buzz now. I've got it down there, but he had it lower than this even, so it's crazy low. And it's right on the edge of wanting to buzz. But it's not really buzzing, so... I think he'll be happy with that. It's not buzzing, it's not making his muted noises that he was hearing, and the intonation is exactly right. The action is crazy low. Again, this is a 1.12 millimeter pick, and you can see it holds it down here at the the 12th fret. That's crazy low. That's just crazy low. So anyway, he ought to be pretty happy with that. And he's got a new nut now that is cut correctly, because the other one was just cut way too deep. Just couldn't make it work. Well, the Guild guitar bridge is all repaired. I literally cannot see a single mark around the edge or anything. It looks perfect to me. I re-drilled out all the holes so that the pegs would fit back down in there. The glue, of course, squeezed into the holes a little bit. I've got the saddle here to put back in, and we're ready to string her back up. A lot of people on YouTube have referred to keeping these same pegs in the same holes, and I completely agree with that. I just show you how I do that. I've made these things up years ago. This was just a piece of scrap wood, and I just drilled sets of holes in it. That way I could do a 12 string and keep all the pegs in the right place. But anyway, I just keep them in this configuration. This is the large E, this is the small E, and this little groove here, I always point towards the peg head so I know how it is oriented. I also have another one that is even more shaped like a a bridge, and it has enough there to do. If I'm working on multiple guitars, I can have all the pegs in here, and I just have to keep straight of which pegs go to which guitar, but that's not too hard to do when I'm not crazy busy. And anyway, that is how I keep them separated, and that way I get them back in the same hole every time. Now that's what I call a nice sounding guitar. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this guitar is for sale. And I'll just give you a good look at it. It is in pristine condition. You can take my word for that. It is a Guild. It is a, let me see if I can see what number or model. It's got the label upside down in my opinion. It's a D55. The serial number is CV000622. It is a beautiful guitar. Rosewood back and sides. Got some detail there in the, so you can see how shiny it is. You can see the reflection of the, you can even see the reflection of the camera there. It's beautiful. It's really a nice guitar. It's about as pretty as it gets. Let me raise the camera up here and where I can give you a little better look at the fretboard. We'll zoom you in a little bit. And fretboard is beautiful. It's really, really, really a nice guitar. It's got a booming sound. And I don't know for sure, but I believe the customer still wants to sell it. what I understand about the situation is someone wanted to buy the guitar, he shipped it to them, and the person that wanted to buy it noticed the bridge was coming loose, and he didn't like the fact that these fret ends were sticking out just a little bit. Now they weren't real bad, but I fixed those too. They're real nice now. The bridge is perfect. Honestly, I don't think you can even really tell that it's ever been off of there. And I'm pretty positive it'll never come off again. I don't know what he's asking for the guitar, but if you're interested in a guitar like this, and pretty much guarantee you would like this guitar. It's got a nice sound. It's even all the way across the board. All you have to do is let me know if you're interested. The email address will be at the end of the video. You can email me, let me know you're interested in the guitar, and I'll put you in touch with the customer to see if the customer's interested in selling it. I believe he is, because like I said, he shipped it to another person to buy it, and that person shipped it direct to me to fix it. And that person, as far as I know, he's not going to buy the guitar now, because he was leery about the fact that the bridge was loose and that. But if he sees this video, he might want to buy it, because honestly, it is a nice guitar. I just noticed a little bit of a smudge there. It's just a smudge. It's not a scratch. And just wiping it off there. That's a lens cleaning cloth. Those are great for cleaning instruments there when you really got one that's got a fine finish on it. As far as I can tell, I don't see a scratch on it anywhere. It's about as pristine as it could be. It looks to me like it just came off the showroom floor. So that's going to conclude it. Hope you enjoyed this little segment.